What is up, glorious sales savages, friends of mine? It is I, Corporate Bro, here back at you with another Creme de la Corp. Where, if you're new here, which you probably aren't, this is where I talk about 5 posts from the War Room, the Bravado sales community. I don't know if you heard of it. Obviously, you have. You're in it right now if you're watching this. I'm still very sick. And again, not in the dope, tight, like, awesome kind of way. In the way that I feel bad, fam. I got a cold that just won't leave me alone. It's not the Rona, so don't even, like, suggest. We all know it's not the Rona, okay? It could be anything, but it's not that. I got tested, all right? It's the only thing I got tested for, so could be anything. Post number 1. Let's talk about it. This one is called Get Mad or Get Even by Bend and Snack. Bend and Snack. That's probably what the name was there. All right, I'm going to read this. This is insanely petty, but the milk hath spilled, ... SDR. We ran a promo last quarter where we sent swag to people who took meetings. However, went so well that one of my colleagues decided to continue the promo after we ran out of swag, as in has been promising free stuff that'll never arrive. Eek. To each their own until he started prospecting in my territory because he got lazy to find new people in his. I called him out after he accidentally booked 5 meetings in my territory, and instead of owning it, he played dumb. I'm not going to read the rest of this. Fast forward to today, blah, blah, blah. He's doing other shit. I've been trying to breathe and be all zen about this. What should I do that doesn't involve whining to my manager or getting his accounts kicked off LinkedIn? Is he doing this on purpose or am I playing into it? All right, get mad or get even. Don't fuck with my territory. No one accidentally goes into another territory. It doesn't really work like that. Like what kind of company are you working at where like the lines aren't obvious? And if they aren't obvious, that's a whole other problem. But homie knows what he's doing. Or she. Could be a she. We don't know. I would destroy them. Yeah, I would probably destroy them. I would do some bad stuff. Because look, sales is hard enough. All right? Territories are already difficult. No, I guess depending on which territory is which. But somebody coming into my house, fucking with my shit? No, I honestly, it'd be like a cash me outside, how about that kind of moment. Within reason, probably. And the top comment says from Opal, I can't even read this, from Opal Titty Churger. I can't believe I have to read that out loud. The top comment is also funny. It says, violence, and lots of it. That is the answer. Behead him and keep his head on a pole at your desk so everyone knows not to fuck with you. That's kind of reasonable here. Honestly, I don't know. I would call him out. I would call him out in a team meeting, probably. Be like, yo, when so-and-so, friggin' Sean over here, just like prospecting my territory. What gives, Sean? Watch out, everyone. Sean might go into your territory and accidentally book 5 meetings. I don't know. I honestly would probably make a scene. But that's a me thing. It's the end of the sales cycle, October 31st. Weird. And a prospect is this close. Do you ever just mention that as a way to urge the sale along? So I guess the question is, do you ever bring up that it's like the end of your year, the end of your month? You bring up your quota to prospects. Let's see what the comments say before I give my opinion. Fun Coupons says, I'm of the opinion that prospects don't give a fuck about our quotas and preferred timelines, so I don't ever mention it. You know, I have mentioned it before. I see what they're saying with don't bring it up, but it depends on the rapport I have with the prospect. Like, look, in one of my best deals ever, I was like very honest. I had a great relationship with the decision maker. We went through a POC. She was like, nah. I was like, all right, look, I'm gonna do this for you. She was like, tight. And then we ran the thing again. She was like, this kind of sucks. I was like, the numbers aren't good, but what if we try this? And she was like, and I was like, look, I've gone to bat for you like so many times. It's also like my end of year. And like, I don't know, like you said you're going to do this. So like, what's the difference between like next week and like this week? And she was like, all right, homie, I got you. I didn't say it quite like that. I didn't sound like such a little bitch when I said it. I had a little more tact. I actually still talk to her, by the way. One of the few decision makers I still have a relationship with. So I have done it, but you got to feel it out. There's no silver bullet on this one. I think if you have a great, you don't want to be desperate, right? Like I had kind of closed to small deals with this prospect and like kind of had the clout to say it because I was kind of making it happen. I'd earned the right. So I wouldn't just throw it out there, Hail Mary, like, look, man, I friggin' need this, man. Like, it's year end, October 31st, Halloween, boy. So I wouldn't do that. That just sounds sad and desperate. Okay, next one. Do vacations actually exist? No. Nope. Not in sales. Not in sales unless you're already hit your year and you want to take a couple weeks off. That's fine. But then you're like, oh, frig, I'm not building pipeline for the next year. And then they're going to be like, you didn't start Q1 of the next year hot. We can't promote you now because you're not consistent. That bullshit. How do y'all handle taking vacations? In my 15 years of selling, I've taken one, maybe two, where I was able to completely shut off. I also, like, at times just found myself just not giving a shit and just shutting it off because I had to, like, for my mental health. And I suffered for it. I paid the price, but I was ready to accept those consequences. So what does Grizzle McThornbody say? The top commenter here. Have a good work buddy. Mine sat next to me, and when I took vacay, I told him the deals I was working on, contracts I was waiting on, gave him my logins, and if they called, I told him to tell them that he was my boss. He was great and always helped. I did the same for him. That's actually a really good idea. Yeah, that's a dope idea. Have a work buddy pretend to be your boss and take all of your shit for you, and then you do the same for them. I love that. People helping people. That's good shit. Savages got to stick together. I've been saying that since day one. Let's go to the next one. How can you spot a shitty or an average company when looking for a job? Speaking of jobs, you should just get one through Bravado because we don't let shitty companies hire through us. Just saying. Stunt, dab, dab. We don't let shitty companies hire our people. Just saying. Dab. So let's just punch my keyboard. Yeah. Okay. So a few ways. This is what the person says they're doing. They go to Glassdoor, RepView, CompGauge, check on the company's founder, senior executives, Crunchbase for funding, but everybody gets funding these days, so don't trust it. It depends on who's giving the funding. Have you heard of them? Probably not yourselves. Probably don't know a lot about VCs, but there's a few out there that you want to look out for in a good way. Number 2, go to G2's comparison grid. Check out the product category. Gartner Magic Quadrant. Is that still real? Is that still relly? Like, honestly. Gartner, be honest. Are you still relevant? Insane. And then Forrester, Gartner. God, shit, those are some throwback references. Those are all great things. I always like to try and find someone on the inside and have like a real talk. Like who's actually hitting. I ask for like attainment numbers, which if they wouldn't give them to me, I'd be like, that's a red flag, bruh. Fun Coupon says, interview them during the interview process. Don't be afraid to ask questions like, why is this role open? How many AEs reached quota last year? How many exceeded quota and made Prez Club? Ask them why their product is superior to the competition. But also ask, so ask them that, but then also why someone might not buy their product. What are the shortcomings? What are the pitfalls? You know what I'm saying? Why not? Why shouldn't I take this job? I like to ask that one too sometimes. And they're like, well, we kind of have like a pretty chill vibe. Like if you're trying to be intense, you're trying to be cutthroat, like it probably doesn't fly here. Bye. Interview process in general. Yeah, like do they hold themselves accountable? Like how does that process go? Are they accountable to their deadlines? It's tough, fam. It is honestly tough. Like the best thing you can do is get an insider. And salespeople, buy them a couple drinks. They'll tell you the real shit. They'll tell you what's good in the hood or bad in the hood. I wanted to rhyme bad with something. It didn't. I told you I'm sick right now. I can't really think. So it's tough. I think all of those things are good. It's really hard with a technical product. You got to just talk to as many people as you can. That's it. There's no perfect way to vet these companies because all those things could be great, and then you get stuck in a shitty patch, and like no one knew that was coming. So maybe ask about the patch you get, the territory you'll get to. I'd throw that in there. All right, last one. Humility time. What are we most guilty of? For example, filler words, making assumptions, going over your pitch too quickly, and other. I'm just going to say making assumptions. I like to assume. I'm an ass man. Seriously. Apathy. Sometimes I wonder what the purpose of life is. Also, I'm old, though, so I'm going through that right now. I feel like I just wrote that, but I didn't. Grizzle McThornbody coming back hot with another top commie. Moby85 says, one that annoys me and that I'm guilty of at times is giving way too detailed of an answer and adding a bunch of BS. That's a good one, too. I definitely like to over-explain stuff. I'm a mansplainer sometimes. I'm not a mansplainer. I just like to get into the weeds, Smoke those weeds in the weeds. And really all they just want is like a yes or no. So that is definitely, I'm kind of an over-explainer at times. I like to make jokes, too. Shocker. Sometimes those don't land with certain people who aren't very fun at parties. Prospects. So Yeah, pitching too long. Going into a pitch, I actually found, and it does, this like depends on the product, that using a pitch deck was kind of stupid. And you could have the same effect with a conversation. Obviously, if you're trying to look at a demo and you want to show people shit, like that makes sense. But don't over-explain and don't over-show stuff. Like sometimes people just want it to be able to do one thing, and all the 9,000 things and features that it has, like they don't give a shit about. So you're actually just shooting yourself in the foot because they're like, well, I don't want to pay for all this shit. But you're like, well, I can't just like break it down for you. They're like, well, all I wanted to do is this. And all you should have said was, yeah, it does that, Sharon. Pause. Shut up. Let her buy it. And it'd be great. So that's a reasonable one. I definitely used to do that too much too. And now I'm going on too long in this Creme de la Corp. So let's wrap it up. That's it. God, we're at 12 minutes. Thank you for watching this edition of Creme de la Corp. Speaking of jobs, if you want to find a good one, Bravado Jobs, do it. You might even get a call from me. I'm literally a recruiter for this company now, and it's so annoying doing candidate screening calls, but you just might get one from me, a text from me, and then you have my phone number, and then you can send me tasteful nudes, or you can just prank call me later. Either way, that's it, fam. We'll see you next time on the next edition of Creme de la Corp. Peace.